it will say SAP 14, for example, to say reason for arrest, you write murder, rape, or whatever. So my English and your English will never be the same. So you will stretch it further according to your knowledge. If Shibiri's knowledge ends here, so it doesn't mean my capacity is like yours. So I responded, Commissioner, what I was inquiring about.
Well, if all you wanted and you understood that's all you needed to report to General Sibia that he's arrested because on a charge of murder, or yeah, the charge is murder, why would you say, and I want to read at page 68, this is a part that I read yesterday in isiZulu, but I'm going to read it in English. You say, so, but now I saw that I responded, it starts at line 8, responded to him in a bad way, you see. I said, yes, I'm also here because of this issue. So let me come back a little bit, because some other things also make me angry, you see. If all that there was that you needed to report to General Sibia, and that's all you were asking witness A to tell you what is the charge, what you call the reason for arrest, what would make you angry if that's all that General Sibia wanted to know and that's all that you needed to report to him? And what about it, that reason for arrest, would cause you concern that he wants this information for the other side? It's what the docket says on its face. It's murder. Why don't you want to tell General Sibia? You do explain, I didn't go at the farm. I know he would ask me. He's invited me so that he can ask me about this. If all he wanted was that reason for arrest, why is that a concern that when you go to the farm, he would ask you about it? Two, why would he want that? Why would it concern you that he wants it for the other side? Whatever side you have decided now, you've defined as the other side. Why would that be a concern? And three, what about that would make you angry? So I've put 3 things to you that suggest, in fact, maybe let me leave it at this point now. Why would you have difficulty with that you're going to have to tell him, yes, he's been arrested for murder? If that's all that you wanted to know from witness A and that's all you needed to report to General Sibia.
I will try to follow. The question sometimes is long and then and I miss some along the way. I have indicated that I forgot to ask what was the person arrested for. And that was the reason why I phoned, so that I can be able to explain in full. And secondly, even the day before, when I started here testifying, that I had a serious challenge in my workplace, that everything is pumped to me, even including things which doesn't need my components. I indicated there were 5 components. I even gave example of serious and violent happening in Lesikisik and Port St. John's, which I was thinking it falls under General Mtsipe will go there. CIT, which is dealt by DPCI, then I will be sent there. I didn't worry about the Eastern Tebeja because gang violence is within my sphere, and extortions and so forth. So that is what I was always pestering me, complaining about always. So that I'll be tasked unnecessary things and so forth. So to say the other side, I've already explained to say his side or to discuss with the people who are in his side, because as it was indicated, and also he testified. He was not in the. He's not in the side of the National Commissioner. There are people whom he believe they are fighting, and it is clear for everybody to see what was happening. So, without getting deeper to things which, again, I will be putting myself into questions which I cannot respond to, I think I can end it there. That was the reason. And the murder, it is there on the docket, but I never saw the docket. And hence I asked. And I didn't see any danger in asking, because I usually ask them and phone them on daily basis, and not specifically him, all the investigators, if I'm tasked to.
No, General, and maybe it's my fault for how I asked the question. You complained that it is long, and that's a fair comment to make. Let me repeat what I'm putting to you. You say in what I've read, it concludes by saying some other things also make me angry. That is in the telephone call. But the other thing that you said in the telephone call is that you know he's invited you to the farm because he wants to ask you about this case. He wants information. That's what you say on the call. And then the third thing, relevant thing that you say on the call is you know he wants that information for the other side. So those are the three things you've said. Now, in your exchange with Ms. Segeels-Ncube, you say all you wanted or all you asked witness A was the reason for the arrest. And the reason for the arrest is murder. That's all you wanted to know. So that's what you've just said, and I've put to you what you've said in the transcript, which I say is relevant. Now, this is my question now. Maybe if you would then focus on my question. My question is, why would you not want him to ask you for the reason which is simply murder? What's your concern? That I don't go, and I know at the farm he wants to ask me about this matter. And if the answer is, well, he's arrested for murder, to share that with the other side, that the man has been arrested for murder, what is your concern about that? And if all you wanted to get from witness A and to share with General Sibiya is murder, why would that make you angry to tell him that you are having to tell him that kind of information? It's that which, again, I say, it just doesn't add up. Your explanation of what this telephone call was all about, it's implausible. If all you needed to convey to General Sibiya is that he's arrested for murder, then it doesn't make sense that you have these concerns that you've recorded here.
Yeah, it is becoming more difficult and more difficult for me to respond for this thing, because I respond one thing forever. Here it says, so, but now I saw that I responded to him badly, in a bad way, you see. I said, yes, I'm also here because of the issues. So let me come back a little bit, because some things also make me angry, you see. I was referring on the top one, it is where I'm saying, if you were in a hurry, why don't you ask General, if it is imminent, why don't you ask General Khumalo? So it's a follow-up from that one. That small things like this, then I'm phoned, and then I ended up answering otherwise. And I understand, okay, it's my issue, I'm there. I work there. I voluntarily took the post and applied for the post and wanted to go to work at head office. So I caution myself to say, no, let me. But even though sometimes it makes me angry to say I'm off sick, I'm phoned for a small thing which I think, as the commissioner has indicated, the the acting could have dealt with, or a simple phone call to General Khumalo could have made matters lesser, or to Brigadier Hopani. But I have two on my bed with close eye, go and check the phone people, ask those things. Those are the things which is annoying. And to say for the other side, meaning for their own benefit, not even for his own benefit, or to discuss on his own side with his own people, meaning at the police. So that is what I tried to explain, I think, for the past 30 minutes.
Thank you.
General, I'm going to cut to the chase because I want, for my part at least, I know Advocate Ncube still wants to ask you questions about this. This is what you do on page 67 and 68, unprompted by witness A. Because if you were just asking what is the person arrested for, that's all you would ask, and you would talk about your health and general chit-chat. Unprompted by witness A, you tell witness A about this group of 5 business people, and I say business people in inverted commas or open close brackets, and then you say to him, there is this Zay who's involved in the taxi business, again unprompted. And then now you go to General A, you see this person is close to General Sibiya, and General Sibiya is close to Julius Malema. And then this is the important part on page 67, line 15. You say, so I know even when he says I must come, meaning when General Sibiya says, you must come to my party, he wants to ask me, yes, I have sent you, so now what is happening whatsoever? So that himself, and I know that he's looking for it. He's not looking for it to take it to NESCOM. Witness A says yes, and then you say he's looking for it for the other side. So what can we say? This is how we live as long as we are safe. Witness A says yes. Then you go back to this group of business people. So you don't talk about family, you don't talk about another faction in SEPS. You say, so Mina, I was thinking that maybe it links to the taxes. That's General Sibiya's request. That's what you are linking here, correct? When you say it links to the taxes, correct?
No.
And then you say, but I said no. But this in the taxis, and then you continue, they got out. The person who is left there and causing problems is Joe. Plus in those extortions, he is there. These boys of his, Bafanas and what. But I asked myself that, okay, so I said, no, General, give me time. So you see how you linking General Sibiya with all these things, unrelated to the request. You say link to the taxis, but I said no, General. But I asked myself, okay, I said no, General, give me time. I will give you feedback later. Or else if you are in a hurry, you can phone Khumalo to send you this report. Myself, no. So that was your discomfort, because although you're talking about a request General Sibiya made to you, you unprompted mentioned this group of 5 business people to witness A. You mentioned Zay. You mentioned Mr. Julius Malema. You then go to the issue of taxes and extortions, and you link all of that with General Sibiya, and you say, you know, if he's in a hurry, you don't want to be part of it, he must phone Khumalo to send him the report. And apparently this is where you left it. That's why you felt bad and you needed to make follow-ups. To me, reading this, it suggests that your discomfort was exactly that. The link with all these people and your concern, which you were expressing to witness A, that General Sibiya requires this information for these people that you mentioned in page 66, 67, and 68. That's how I read this transcript and the audio clip that we listened to. Because nowhere in 66, 67, 68 do you say, hey, you know, I'm concerned about the factions in the SEPs. He's looking for this information for this faction. I don't like this factionalism. It makes me uncomfortable. The only people you are referring to in those three pages are this group of business people. And I use that term business people loosely. And that bothers you because you even say it's linked to extortion, it's linked to the taxes, it's linked to these people. I asked myself, so I said, General, give me time, I will give you feedback, or else if you are in a hurry, get it from Kumalo. That's how it looks to me. If I'm wrong, you'll say you are wrong. It has nothing to do with that. But it won't make sense why, when you are discussing invitation to a party, you would then mention all these people. Because they have nothing to do with the invitation to the party or the request that you get this information. Do you follow me?
Although it's too very long.
Yes, I know it's long because I had to paint that
I
full
follow,
picture.
I follow.
I can break it down if you need to, but if you followed, you can just give your comment.
Yeah, I thought it was a conclusion of the commissioner concluding the whole thing.
I'm saying, looking at the 3 pages together,
Yeah.
that's what it looks like to me. It looks like you were linking General Sibia's request with his association with all these people.
Yeah.
Is that not what it looks like reading the transcript?
I already said no. I already said no, and I plead that my explanation also be listened. It might not make sense to oneself, but this is what I'm explaining. It was a discussion between 2 colleagues, and it was not a meeting which was structured. And I said a lot of things. Number one, I indicated, I shared the information to the member because I knew he was, I said this yesterday, he was at the safe house and now they have a team that they are more mobilized to deal with this thing. I indicated to say, I got information now that this person you arrested was belonging to these people and they were business partners, they were how many? And I thought it was only along the taxi, and I hear there is also mining business involved. Then I said, I further talked about what is currently happening, saying I thought after the passing of the old man, then now Joe took over. It's only that. Also, I see his voice. That is why I was not feeling comfortable in talking to this one. Yeah, I indicated because I know, Lord, I might know that you can think this one belongs to this faction, and only to find it belongs to all the factions, and they are together. So, yeah, that is why I indicated. It was indicated to me to say it's me, and you warned me to say what you do. You don't want to be